It's the greatest catch in Super Bowl history, the helmet catch made by the David Tyree right here in Arizona for Super Bowl 42. And what do you know? He's back. There he is right there. David, welcome to the Rollin with Richard Super Tailgate Party. Thanks for joining us, man.
How we doing?
Good. I'm doing great. I've got my Super Bowl patch collection kit here. I've got every single Super Bowl from 1 all the way to 56. I'm waiting on 57. Here's yours.
42.
What goes through your mind when you see that?
You know what? It's a special time. It's a time that it changed my life, right? It changed my life. It validated every ounce of effort, building a career as a special teams player, just wanting to be remembered and recognized. So, of course, it was about winning the championship, and that's every player's goal.
Do you and Eli ever talk about that play where he was like, man, I was scrambling for my life. I saw you and I just threw up a prayer and it was answered?
You know what? We don't talk about it much. You know, he's been a professional. I'm a dad with 7 kids. My career wrapped up pretty soon after. He played a bunch more football afterwards. So, but when we get together, it's a moment that we know we share together, along with our birthdays too. So it's a good time.
You guys have the same birthday?
Same birthday.
When is that?
January 3rd.
January 3rd. Well, happy belated birthday.
Appreciate it.
This is our tailgate setup. We'll give you the tour.
Thank you
over here, man. We've got the LT jersey on. We got the
flags.
The Rock'em Sock'em, you know.
And we're glad they didn't blow that plate dead.
Yeah.
Throw no flag.
Right.
Rock'em Sock'em.
If you don't like any questions, you can throw a flag. All right. And we got something for you here. Don't touch it because it's hot. I don't want you to burn them hands. We're gonna take care of our guests. We got some in there. So have a seat. We'll chat. Talk about that miracle. Like, so you were purposely pushing it on your head, like saying, "Look, I'm not gonna let this thing get away."
I'd be dishonest to say I didn't know. I actually didn't know. All I knew is I went up. You know, you're trained to high point a jump ball, and I just knew I had it. That's all I knew. I just knew I had it. I remember getting the second hand back on the footballs and falling back, and you know, I had to basically get up and figure out if I was still going to be in the game. You know, so it's one of those things where it's very spontaneous. And at the end of the day, I didn't get too many opportunities, so I knew I needed to maximize them.
When the clock hits 0 and you realize, man, we are Super Bowl champions forever. What is that feeling like?
It was overwhelming. People ask me about it. I said, like, my only word I could use is awe, A-W-E, because, you know, my mom passed a month and a half before that. It was probably one of the roughest years of my life personally, as far as like a production standpoint. But you know that football, it serves so much in your personal life, the devotion, the commitment, the relationships. So to get there, knowing that there was something special happening, something special brewing, just to have a role in the game was something, but to have a moment to be a champion, to be crowned, and to have that moment of satisfaction, it's still serving to this day.
And in Super Bowl 57, I'm sure we're going to have another great moment. It always seems to come up, you know. It never disappoints this game.
Never.
What do you think is going to happen in this game? I know you played against the Eagles quite a bit. That fan base is rabid.
They are rabid. Yeah, they're a different bunch of birds. I can't, you know, like, I picked Kansas City to win the Super Bowl early in the season. I think that the overlooked aspect of Patrick Mahomes is his determination. It's not just the magical components of how he's kind of, you know, reinvented some of the elements in his. It's almost like football sorcery. I don't know what's going on with the guy, but honestly, it's his competitiveness. So that, to me, that gives him the edge, the experience. I believe that Jalen Hurts has had an MVP caliber season, but Patrick Mahomes is going to find a way to win a Super Bowl.
Do you think there's going to be some guy kind of like you where people didn't expect to come up big and have a huge impact on the game?
I think there's usually always the silver lining of some story in the Super Bowl. So it's going to be interesting to see who it could be, because both of these teams are pretty star-studded. So it'll be interesting to see. The only way I see that happening is maybe if one of the Kansas City receivers kind of end up taking over instead of Travis Kelce in the offense. But it'll be fun to see.
So how does this change your life when you make a play like this? I mean, this is the greatest catch in Super Bowl history.
I think it is. I think it's the greatest catch in Super Bowl history. I believe it's arguably one of the greatest play. But for me, it changed my life just in the sense that opportunity, right? Opportunity, platform that maybe I wouldn't have been able to have, to be able to re-enter the conversation and be a part of the NFL history. This is a game that has served me throughout my life, even still to this day. So I think that it was a gift from God, and ultimately I knew that, you know, he had some bigger purposes for my life, and it was magnified on this stage and confirmed. And so for me, it continues. I've experienced so much impact, so many powerful stories behind the scene. And that's even with my podcast, Catch the Moment, that's what we talk about. Where were you when you saw the helmet catch? What was the impact on your life? So just going for the ride and enjoying it even still to this day.
I was there. I was at that game. I was on the field. I remember I saw the play. At first I thought, oh, he's sacked, Eli Manning, and then all of a sudden he gets out of it, and then he throws, and I saw you catch it, and I looked at the security guard next to me. I didn't even know who she was, and I just said, they just won this game.
Wow.
Did you feel we just won this game?
No, I've had too many great games and lost them. I've had great games. Nothing matters until it's 0-0-0 on the clock. And if anybody remembers those, Jay Alford had a powerful sack in the last drive that probably took the wind out of it. We still had to sweat through some of those Tom Brady heaves up to Randy Moss.
I remember that.
And they were scary. It was one of them that was really scary in particular. So at the end of the day, you pray it through to the end as much as you play it through to the end, and we came out victorious.
You had that catch. You also had a touchdown in that game.
The most forgotten touchdown.
Exactly. But one story everybody seems to talk about is practice before.
Sure.
Michael Strahan said you couldn't catch a cold.
Yeah. It's amazing how it gets exaggerated. I definitely had a horrible day.
Right,
I
exactly.
didn't catch, but I didn't. It was like one of the worst practices maybe for a receiver in history. But some people said he couldn't catch it all. He couldn't catch a cold all week. I'm like, golly. But no, it was a poor practice, man. What I will say is I never gave it a thought. Eli came to me after the practice, said, I know you'll be ready. You always are. Give me that pat on the butt, and it was over. And I think that's the mentality that we have to have in life, right? Is that you leave today where it is. There's going to be some troubling days in the human experience. And I left that Friday practice right where it was, and I was ready when the lights were on.
And next thing you know, you're a champion.
Here we go.